Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am doing a TikTok live. It has been a minute. It has been a minute because of the holiday and getting off of the digital grid and on the digital grid and all that. And I was starting to get in the zone doing some stuff, but here I am. I'm here to help you with your post-holiday clutter and your pre-holiday clutter and all the clutters. Welcome back, everybody. Let me just double check this. Okay, we got this going on. We got that going on. Hey, Gabby. Irish Pink, nice to see you. German Maid, 95. Nice to see you, too. I hope everybody had a good holiday. Here's something I will share with you guys. I took my own coaching advice, okay? I took my own coaching advice when I pulled up to the side of the road on the way to my mother's house with an Italian hoagie, or we call it up in Massachusetts a sub. I had an Italian hoagie in my hand. I was in the rain, and I popped in, and I was reminding myself, and this is what I want to remind you all of too, because this really helped me, was how do I want to feel this holiday season? And I decided I want to feel calm, relaxed, literally even just relaxed in my body. Like instead of being all tense, I would relax. And I kept on checking in with myself throughout the holiday, being like, am I all clenchy? Can I relax? Can I breathe? And it really helped. It really helped. So I hope this helps you. What I would love for you to think of is, sure, decluttering is on the surface about how your home looks. But we only want it to look a certain way so that you feel a certain way. There we are. Sassy and Southern, thank you for stopping by to show some love. I hope you have a great day too. Okay, mine is a mess today. Barefoot Eclectic, no worries. Erin, nice to see you. I am back from the holiday, and it really did help me to remind myself on a daily basis, multiple times a day, depending upon the situation, is what do I want to feel like? How do I want to feel? And I course corrected every little bit where I was like, I'm getting clenchy, I'm getting frustrated, and I would take a deep breath and I would re-steer towards how I wanted to feel. Okay, now here's a funny thing. I just realized my little map pins, and yes, I have not changed the heart. I meant to do it. I have the paper and everything. I just need to do it. Okay? So here's what I want to help you with is, clutter is about how it looks, but man, is it more about how it feels. And when you feel better, you're going to do better. And I want to help you feel better about decluttering so that you know how to start or where to start or why to start. Francesca Zenker is saying, don't know where to start. That's okay. I'll help you with that. I love it. Mama Kimbo is saying, going through Brins in Garage while listening to you, Christmas stuff. Awesome. Everybody. Mama Kimbo is not the first one to remind me that my TikTok lives, both the live ones and the recorded ones, are great to have on in the background. Maybe not like Christmas music or anything, but they will help you keep you company while you're doing your decluttering of your surfaces. And so much of it is surface. You can listen to me while you're decluttering your surface areas because you pretty much know. And, who was it back there? Francesca, how about this? The way I coach, and for everybody, hi, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. I help you declutter your life. And I call my coaching Destination Decluttered because I love talking about travel and how road tripping is so much like being, decluttering your life. And what I want to suggest to you is if you don't know where to start, first of all, decide what you want your home to look and feel and function like. Now, right now, for the sake of expediency, for quickness, just say I want it to look and feel better than it does now. And probably a thing, and this is where to help you get started, is to remind yourself why you're doing this, is so you feel better in your home. And I am going to bet that you will feel better in your home, even if the very, very superficial, whatever level is if your surfaces are less cluttered than they are right now. So how about this? Pop me on to a place where you can hear me, but you don't have to see me because it just looks like this the whole time. And start to look at your surfaces and say, okay, surfaces, anything is a horizontal surface from your floor to a shelf, to a desk, to a bureau top, to a counter, anything horizontal, look at that one surface and say what belongs here, what doesn't belong here, and start to put things back closer to where they belong. Even if they don't currently fit right now, is there a better home for the items that are on your surfaces than where they are right now? And if the answer is yes, then listen to me while I chatter on in the background and start working on that. So Francesca, hope that helps. But remind yourself that the reason you're doing that is, yeah, so it looks better, but only because it looks better, because when it looks better, you feel better, okay? Somebody just said, when you're trying to time all the food right and be done correctly, you know what, Picky, sometimes the best, funniest holiday, what do I want to say, stories are from when things didn't work out. This year, my sister said this is the first time in how many times that she's done this holiday that the smoke alarm didn't go off, so that was a big deal. So notice that. I love it. Barefoot Eclectus says, I think I've come up with a good system for daily stuff. Lining things first, or little things first maybe, shared space a second. Wonderful. Experiment, you guys. Have fun with a system that feels like it's going to work for you. Does it feel like it's going to work for you? Then it will, because you're going to do the thing, and then pretty much whatever you're going to do is going to work more so than not doing anything. Okay? So this is why I bring the I bring these things to mind, because I am all about how it looks better. Notice Hair and Nail Lady says, having people over always helps me get going. Yeah, because externally you want your place to look better through other people's eyes. But notice that too. That is a great motivator. Heck, I do it myself. Like when we have friends over, we have like a movie night every so often. I think ours is next week. Of course, I might step up my dusting game, even though my friends don't care, but it makes me feel better knowing that if they looked, they wouldn't see cobwebs under that mid-century modern, bookcase or something. Notice that, but then remind yourself, you're the person who lives in your house more than anybody else. Make sure it looks good for you. Make sure it looks good so you feel good the maximum amount of time that you spend in your home. Okay? Just notice that. We often think of things from the outside in, but if you work from the inside out, there's a wonderful positive ripple effect that will make sure that it looks good to you and it will look good for other people. Okay? So notice that. Noticing is a big thing, is being aware. The awareness of why you're doing something can help you understand why you're doing something and why you're not doing something. Why are you not decluttering? I know there's thoughts and feelings and actions and things involved. So notice that. Noticing it will help you say, what is this thing? Why do I hang on to it? Would I feel better if I kept it? Would I feel better if I let it go? How can I make better decisions? And I mean better decisions by decisions that align with the green light feeling in your heart. If you had a traffic signal in your body, I want you to think about a green light. Go is in your heart. I was on a coaching call this morning with somebody, and again, I'm a Gen Xer, so I think of things that I'm always like riffing on stuff that's from my past. And I remember when we were little kids, I can picture us now in the Traub's front yard playing red light, green light, green light, yellow light, red light, green light. You ever play that? You've got a green light in your heart, and you've got a yellow light in your heart, and you've got a red light in your heart. And they can hit at different times. When you align with the green light in your heart, that's when the good stuff happens. Okay? Here we go. Now this is where I'm going to shut myself up. And there we go. Francesca's starting now. Awesome. There you go. Catherine says, I have a series of booklets for what I do, and alphabetically. My carry a fuck it bucket says modified mini. It doesn't go in that room. It goes in the bucket. See, notice all these things. Everybody's home and life and brain and energy and time of life is different. Finding a system that works for you and gets you the results you want in the quickest way possible so that you have more time to go out and live, that's what I love. There we go. Living things like plants and pets. Okay, there you go. Okay. I love it. Mama Kimbo says, I have chosen only my favorite things to display throughout my house, and it feels so happy. Yeah, you know what? When you choose only the favorites, your favorite things are going to be the things that when you ping out your eyes, then energy comes back. I know I sound like, it kind of sounds a little woo-woo, but energy comes back and it's going to flip a traffic light color in your heart. It's either going to be green, or it's going to be red, or it's going to be yellow. Yellow is where we usually do most of the coaching, because that's like, I don't know. But notice the things that give you that green light feeling, and bring more of those into your life, and release the items that give you that red light feeling, that nope, don't want to do it. Okay, there we go. T is asking, how do I break away from that you might need it mindset? First of all, notice it and acknowledge it and say, you're right, I might need that. When do I think I might need that thing? It depends on the thing, but notice that. Notice what it is and when you think you might need it. If you decided to give it away, to put it back out into circulation in the world, which somebody else could use it because you're not using it now, if you need it in the future, could you make do without it? You know, maybe instead of using like a spinning slicer, you use a knife. Could you borrow one from a neighbor or a friend? Hey, does anybody have a, crock pot? Does anybody have a pair of pliers? It doesn't have to be that extreme, but could you replace it for, what does somebody say, under $20? If you needed it, could you? I always like to say, believe you can borrow. Ask if you can borrow it from somebody first, and then if you think you're going to use it, make a plan to use it. Okay? I love it. We cleared a closet, but he kept 14 pairs of his bike bodysuits. Baby steps, people, baby steps. We all have certain feelings, and when somebody says, why am I not decluttering? It's because you get a feeling that starts with a thought that makes you not declutter. You've got your head, your heart, your head, your heart, and your hands are all related. And you know who's really running the ship? Right here. Because you can have a thought in your head, right? But if it doesn't make it past what's going on here, it doesn't happen. You don't move the clutter. You don't write the book. You don't eat the good food. Notice that. The connection between your head, your heart, and your hands. And then start up here and ping it. Have a convo between these two. I want to do this. No, you don't. Why not? I don't know, because I'm going to figure it out. That's what we do. Yes. Thank you, T. Somebody, Candace G, just said the thing about the 20 minutes and stuff. All right. I love it. Mama Kimbo, wise choice, says, I put things I use only a few times a year on a shelf in a closet. 100%, completely. It reminds me of when I worked for decades not decades, it's probably a decade. When you get to be my age, decades seem like years. I worked for Pier 1 Imports in Mikasa for a really long time. So I have firsthand knowledge of how to store home goods that you don't use all the time. Of course, you're not going to keep your Christmas stuff out all year round. No, you're going to put it in a place that's not in your way for 11 months of the year. But the 1 month of the year, you know where it is, you go get it. Do the same thing with the stuff in your house that you don't use all the time. Your seasonal clothes, the items in your kitchen that you use more frequently, keep them closer to hand. The stuff that you don't use as often, make them in a less convenient place. You've got the bottom drawer, you've got the top shelf. Notice those things. Notice the quantities of items you have, the duplicates that you have. How many of this one thing do you have? Do you really want, is it useful for you to have more of them, or does it just kind of get in the way? It's completely, and it's so funny, Alice Schaefer is saying, wow, that is a true life hack skill from working there. Oh, hell yeah. So many of what I'm a Gen Xer that graduated with a degree in art history. Let me tell you, there was nobody banging down the door saying, here's a lot of money to go get in no. So I had to make up my own journey, work-wise and, things like that. So I pull all the good stuff out of every single thing I have done so I can learn from it. And what I've come up with is something that now not just helps me live a life that looks and feels and functions like I want it to, but I want to share it with you, I love it. Jane Wilson says, I crochet, so need a pair of scissors in every room. You're laughing, but I got scissors in every room. I was at my mother's house the other day. The funny thing is she said, and I'm not besmirching my mother because she would attest to this, when she grew up, they had maybe one pair of good scissors. Frankly, I remember growing up in that same house with my mother, and we only had one good pair of scissors. Now she has multiples. I have multiples because when I want scissors, I want them to be convenient. I have some in my office. I have some in the kitchen. I have some in the bathroom. And I probably have some down in the basement too. Okay? But notice what's going to work for you. What is going to make your life and your functioning in your house efficient So it's easy to do things. So you're not stressing out about, oh my gosh, I have to walk all the way down the basement to get a freaking hammer. Forget it, I'm not going to do it. No, move the hammer closer to where you're going to use it. Yeah, the good pair of scissors, exactly. But notice the things in your life that are getting in the way of you decluttering or making your home feel better by having it function better. And notice that it just makes it better for you. Okay? There we go. I did this years ago, says Rosalind. I live in Airbnb, always, and travel full time. Backpack life for me. Yes, you really start to hone down onto what is important. I love this too, and I love that you brought up travel because I love to travel, and I am getting better and better. The more I do this, the more I realize how little I need when I am traveling. So every time I am now strictly a like a carry-on only person. I'm trying to convince my husband of that, but he likes to travel with his guitar because he's a musician, so that's a little bit iffy. But I'm also teaching my nieces and nephew to pack lighter. And it's a wonderful thing to think of packing light on your trip through the world. A lot of stuff can weigh you down, but fewer items can give you this sense of freedom. Oh, there we go. Mama Kimbo is saying, you are amazing and I'm so grateful for your expertise and guidance. I'm about 80% decluttered. Hey, yes, and a high five and a we can do it kind of Rosie the Riveter type thing. Yes, because not all of us grew up knowing how to do this. A lot of, I will speak for myself. I grew up in a cluttered home with people who grew up in, well, no, actually my dad's situation was different, but still it was a, my history of people didn't come from a lot of money. Many people in the Great Depression and even prior did not have a lot of stuff. So they treated what they had, they held on to it. But the world changed, but their mindset didn't. So when there was an explosion of being able to easily get a lot of cheaply made goods, it's the accumulation of things and the not wanting to let go of it for fear you may need it someday is generational. At least from my experience and from many of my one-on-one coaching clients. Now, I do these TikTok lives. I also have one-on-one clients. And we talk about that fact of that feeling of, I can't get rid of this because I spent a lot of money on it. Or I spent any money on it. Like it feels wrong and scary and bad and alerts your nervous system when you feel that when you imagine yourself letting go of something you spent money on, noticing how your nervous system and how your heart basically is my shortcut word for your nervous system, how your heart feels when you're going to do something is a game changer. So just notice how you feel about those things. Okay. Patty, I'm glad to be your co-pilot. So Patty was talking about the fact that like I like to think about life as a road trip, but also decluttering. From where you are now to your destination decluttered is a road trip. I am your co-pilot and I want to make it fun, but I do make it fun. I have fun doing it. That's why I show up and do one-on-one coaching and TikTok lives and free Zooms for the people on my mailing list. And I have a mailing list and all that kind of stuff because I know what it's like to be aimless and not know where to go or how to go. And I have gotten really good at it and I enjoy showing people, being your guide through the journey of it. I'm like your co-pilot on a road trip. You say where you want to go. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. And I make it fun and I teach you along the way so that when it's time for me to step out of the car, kind of like a driver's education, like a driver's ed teacher, that you know how to do it yourself and you can practice for the rest of your life. Okay, notice this types of things. What else? I'm going to back up a little bit here to see if I've missed anything. I will endeavor. Yep, there we go. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Okay. Jane Wilson says we have tons of old paperwork. Okay. Catherine, I will offer, before you digitize it, I would love everybody to get curious. Everybody, paperwork comes up. The overwhelm of decluttering, the I don't know where to start, that's like the top hits. Every time we turn on this station, those are the two songs that are playing. But the third song is pretty much always going to be old paperwork. So let me help all of you with this. First of all, before I mention this, I also want to help you by, this is a little kind of commercial thing. Get on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list. Seriously, there's the people, they know it. You guys know it because some of you are on it, that you get first dibs on everything. I do it for free. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. You get a habit tracker that you can print out for the rest of your life. It's free. You can invite it to a monthly Zoom call that we do, a group Zoom call. It is also free. You get first dibs on coaching consultations. So if you want me as your coach, one-on-one in your life for 10 weeks at a time, that's how you get it. So DestinationDecluttered.com/join is how you get on the mailing list. I just wanted to mention that because I can help you with this. The paperwork. Get curious as to why you have saved all that old paperwork, and not in a judgy way. Do not judge yourself. Don't be judgy. Get curious about it and ask yourself the simple question, do I need this anymore? Back in the day, previous me, if we're going to time travel, previous me thought I needed it, but today is today, and do I still need that canceled check from 1988? Has my life gone by so far without it? Yes. Can I get it shredded? Yes, probably. Notice why you're keeping it. And notice that while your habits of keeping paperwork may have started out good, because back a couple of decades ago, all we had was paper, the world has changed. I am talking to you through like a George Jetson device that is on my other George Jetson device, and that we're connecting up, and there's so crazy things to happen. But notice when your habits, kind of like a cell phone, you know how you have to update your apps occasionally? Like your habits are like a cell phone whose apps have not been updated in a while. You haven't updated your habits to keep pace with how your life is now and how it's most likely going to be in the future. Okay? So ask yourself, do you need that paperwork anymore? And maybe some of it you still feel like you do. That's okay. But notice the stuff that you feel like, I can easily remove that stuff. That's when we're talking about like the three lights here, the red light. Like, yeah, no, I don't even need that anymore. Why do I even have it? That's kind of silly. How funny is that I kept this pay stub from 1987? No big deal. Then you put it somewhere to get it out of there, shredding or whatnot. Okay? So notice that. Mrs. Hughes, the duty lady, is asking, how do you deal with a spouse that clutters every spot you declutter? This is an interesting one because we all have thoughts and feelings that cause us to clutter or declutter. We also have habits that cause us to clutter, well, whether we realize it or not. I am a decluttering life coach. I have habits that I know I come in and I dump stuff here and then I don't pick it up for a while, or I put something on the table and I say, that's going to remind me to do that project. And then it stays there for longer than I would like. I notice that about myself. Notice the things about yourself, but also maybe your spouse is not even aware that they do this. Do not start with the simple stuff. Start with, instead of being judgy, on the one side, on the one hand, you can be judgy and that shuts you down. The other side of judgment is going to be curiosity. Get curious about them and loving, because you love your spouse, and say, isn't that curious? He always dumps his stuff there. I wonder if he even knows that he does that. Okay? Your spouse may have a habit that causes him to clutter. However, I also want you to be aware of your habits. Do you have the habit of picking up after your spouse? That he has put something down on a clean surface and then you clean it up after him. I don't know if you do or not, but notice how your habits may contribute to the fact that he feels like little elves kind of go behind him and clean up after him. Now, notice how I'm being kind of judgy. It says, like I'm saying it's a him, but typically, oftentimes, women are the caregivers and the caretakers and the cleaner-uppers, and the men just kind of do whatever they want and we tidy up after them. If that works for you, go for it. But if it doesn't, and it maybe doesn't because you're in a decluttering thing, you can stop that and start something else. Okay? Notice that. What else do we have? Oh, hey, Rose has a pro organizer coming tomorrow and I'm freaking out. Okay, Rose, let me help you with that, okay? And this will help everybody too, not just Rose. Notice that, and this is getting kind of life coachy, but it's so important. It's not just about how to fold fold a fitted sheet. I can't fold one and my life still rocks, all right? However, notice how your nervous system, and my shortcut word for that is your heart, I am freaking out. You've got thoughts that are creating a feeling that is making you kind of go, Shh, you don't have to freak out. What your body is doing, it's just reacting to the fact that you're making a change in your life. And at the core of our beings, oftentimes our primal bodies and nervous system thinks that change is not good, is scary, is something to be wary of. But you know what? I think it's really cool that you're getting a pro organizer coming to your house. Just because it's activating your nervous system, remind yourself that maybe it's not fear, maybe it's excitement, maybe you're not freaking out, maybe you're excited about the potential of finally finding a way to deal with your clutter and your stuff in a way that can be long lasting. Okay? So everybody, overwhelm is a real thing. Overwhelm will shut us down, and having our nervous system activated in a fight or flight, in a fear way, can stop us from doing things that we normally might not, we know in our heads would be the right thing. But again, right down here, this is where things say stop or go. And if you're kind of freaking out, what I want to offer you is this. Notice that that is a sensation in your physical body. And you can do a few things to calm it down. Very first thing, everybody, anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, is to stop, hammer time. I will always say that. Stop, hammer time. Pull over to the side of the road, metaphorically or in real life. Slow down and then take a few deep breaths. Breathe down into your lungs. Notice what I call all the downs, and I swear I'm gonna make a mug. People on the mailing list. This is me digressing, but I'm gonna get back on track in a second. But people on the mailing list, I'm gonna make another mug. I thought of it this morning when I was making my tea. I want your input because I have an idea of what's going to help me on a mug, so I want you to help me too. But what I want you to know, Rose, is there's a way that you can calm down your nervous system, and it's as free and as easy as taking some deep breaths in to the bottom of your lungs, down into your lungs, and slowly breathing them out. And breathing in slowly and out even slowlier, okay? Allow your physical body to realize it's okay. And then write down things and then chunk down things, okay? Write down all the reasons how it's going to be so awesome to have this pro organizer come to you. And you're going to make it. I love that you're doing this, okay? Yeah, isn't it interesting? Jane is saying, so Candace is saying, I've realized that my clutter problem comes from not knowing if I would be able to afford to whatever. Yeah, I can't afford to. Notice that kind of lack mindset, I can't afford to. Now, it may honestly be completely 100% true in your life. I don't know. I don't know your situation. I don't know the facts behind it. But the interesting thing is noticing is if you have the money in the bank to afford to go buy something else, but you still are holding on to something for fear that you can't afford it, notice it's a thought. It's not a fact. It's just a thought, and you can play with that and change it. Okay? Speaking of thoughts, notice how Jane Wilson is saying, took forever to get my mom's Kirby out of her hands, could not find anybody to take it for free. Yeah, the things that people hang on to, that other people, you can't even give it away. Yeah, because there's a thought and a feeling that your mom had about her Kirby vacuum, what that meant, in releasing it out into the wild, and then in the real world, or the external world, it doesn't mean that much to anybody. Okay? So notice that. Okay? Yeah, Rose, you got this. All right, here we have, what do we got? I love it too, and I will always give accolades to all of y'all who show up in the TikTok lives that I do. I am going to do some later this week too, now that I'm back on the digital grid. I meant to do a video this morning to let you know when I was going to be live, so this may seem like a pop-up. I actually had it planned. The people on my mailing list knew I was showing up today at this time. I apologize for not getting the video out like I normally do, but I'll be honest with you. I was about to do the video, and then I got a text from somebody who I hadn't heard from in a while. And I thought to myself, you know what? What's more important? Not that you're not important, but I said, here's a person in my direct life that is getting in touch with me. I'm going to spend a minute or two with them and make a plan. And then when I did that, I realized I didn't have time to do the video. But I knew you guys would be cool with that, because what's important so much in our life is people and experiences, okay? So notice that. Catherine, I'm glad that I helped you with the paper. Okay, Barefoot Eclectic, 7 years of paperwork is what I saved. Great. Anything 7+ you can recycle. Alice Schaefer is curious if there is by chance a way to talk to someone who has a package with you. If they're in the comments, I'm sure they can do it. I know my clients pack up all the time. Alice, what I would offer to you is whatever you're going to ask them, ask me. I can help you. Don't, they've got their own lives. And what do I want to say? Okay. I didn't save it my former spouse of 30 years. Yeah, interesting, these things. Okay, George Jetson device. It's so true. Sorry, I'm catching up things. Okay, somebody says retention guidelines. Kel, wicked easy, 7 years. 7 years is what the IRS says for stuff like that. Keep things for 7 years. Anything older than that you can pitch. And every year, 7 years go by so you can get rid of another one. Okay? All right. Here we go. I can stop my husband from putting his dirty keys, etc. on the surfaces. Yes. Stop and redirect. It's like a traffic cop. Stop. Beep, beep. Stop doing that. Love you. Stop it. Put your keys here. Right? Cam is asking, oh, there we go. Mission Macro says, thank you for the schedule on email. Got them all on my calendar. Isn't that a nice feeling? Gosh, I love my calendar. My calendar is so much filled with such cool stuff that I like to give you the cool stuff too. Cam is asking, how do I get my daughter to get rid of clothes she's hoarding? Find out why she's hoarding them. What is, get into the deep stuff if you want. That's where the real change happens, is why is she hanging on to clothing and the amount of it that seems like a hoarding mentality. Okay? Abbott Elementary says, wish I could let go of it all. You can, You can make your wishes come true. If you wish you could let it go, what's the thought and the feeling that's stopping you? Now, I know I'm getting deep, but this is where it belongs. Because when you figure out this stuff, when you spend some time just dealing with your clutter on this level, you will discover some things about yourself that will help you make it easier to live a life that feels and functions like you want it to. Okay, Alice says, I'm excited for 2024 and working with me, hopefully. Awesome, I look forward to it too. What I will offer to you is make sure you're on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. I did just tell everybody that there are some consultation slots on my calendar for the next couple of weeks. So Alice, the next step, and again, it's all low pressure. I don't pressure anybody into anything. That would be silly. But the next step to get me to be your coach is as easy as this, is to get onto my website, go to my consultation calendar. I swear there are links to it on my my website, destinationdecluttered.com. Sign up for a free consultation. The free consultation is basically a one-on-one convo to make sure that what you're struggling with is what I can help you with. We talk about coaching, and if it feels right to you, the price, the duration, all that kind of stuff, we get you on the calendar. Notice it has to feel right to you. But what I will say is, notice that how your life is now and how you want it to be. And if there's a discrepancy there, coaching will help. Okay? I love this. I love the ideas that people are saying. Decluttering basement while I listen, says Freckles the Menace. Had a garage sale on Thanksgiving Day because I procrastinated. Hey, you got it done, right? There you go. Oh, there we go. All right. Alice Schaefer, what a wonderful birthday gift coaching would be. Instead of more clutter, how about a decluttered home? And here's the thing I've got to share with you guys, is I would not get into coaching if I felt like it was just this kind of fly-by-night, buy my thing and do whatever. No, the way I help you with your clutter is copy and pastable to so many other areas of your life. It's a mindset and a way of approaching projects. And instead of being overwhelmed, you're in control and you can say, I can make this happen. I can do things. And it just will have a lovely ripple effect on other areas of your life for the rest of your life. So I say that because, yes, my coaching, my one-on-one coaching costs money. It does. It's a business for me. What I will say is this is the least expensive it will ever be, is this week, is next week, is the rents this year. My rates will always be increasing because the more coaching I do, the better of coach you get. But what I will say is, what price are you putting on your happiness, your life, the way you want it to look and feel and function? Only you can decide what is affordable and what isn't. I was thinking about this today when I went to the grocery store. It's like the things that are too expensive, like I was buying a box of cereal, and I was like, ooh, that's kind of expensive. Expensive and cheap are relative words, and they all have to do with your nervous system. So notice when you're like, that's too expensive, but what are you getting in return? I could go on about it. There we go. Okay, Alice Schaefer, I'm glad. See, this is why I do, honestly, this is why I do TikTok Lives. Seriously, because I know myself when I was looking for help, not necessarily with clutter, more like in that life coachy, oh my gosh, I'm in my 40s and some of my life is great, but so much of it I feel so ungood about. It took me a really long time to find somebody who spoke the way it made sense to me, that encouraged me, that felt doable, that it felt like I wasn't being talked down to by some corporate guy in a suit or somebody wearing a headset in a suit. I guess I have a thing about suits. I'm a punk rock Gen Xer, what can I say? I just want to show up to let people know that there's another voice out there. My voice, my Gen X, whatever, clear voice, that I know what a difference it made to me to hear somebody through all the clutter and say, oh, you know how she explains that? That's kind of interesting. I can totally relate. That's kind of funny. Really? I never thought about it that way. It opened up my mind to different concepts. And so I am doing this to help you. Even if you never sign up to be a coaching client for me. It's not just about getting leads and all that kind of stuff. It's about letting you know that there's hope out there. And there's not just hope, but there's help. And I may be the person for you. I may not be the person for you. I have many clients, and so we have getting awesome stuff done with them. But just notice that if you're struggling with something, regardless of what it is, there is help out there for you. Okay? Okay, so Rossman is saying, I have way too much, and every time I declutter, my husband gets mad. My hubby gets mad because he can't find his stuff. So notice about your approach to decluttering. Notice that you have way too much. Okay, so notice why, get curious as to why you have too much, not just enough, but too much. But also notice that you are putting away his items in a place that he does not expect them to be. What I like to think of is, decluttering is like a collaborative process. Don't do it to somebody or at somebody. You can help them with it, but have them come along on the ride so they know where their things are, that they can help you make a decision about a place that makes sense to them, about where their stuff goes, so it's easier for them to find it, and there's not so much of this resistance, okay? Cece says, my husband likes to accumulate electronic cables. Oh my gosh, so does mine. How can I help him? You can help him by discovering why he's doing this. My husband, seriously, in my mind, we have way too many cables, but he's like, I might need this someday. So I said, okay, can they be organized? Are these for the TV? Are these for the stereo? Are these for the speakers? Are these for the telephones? Listen to me, I'm so old school. Is this for your cell phone? Is this for your speakers? What is it? You can help categorize them as opposed to having them be in a tangle, and then ask yourself and have him ask, when's the last time? Do we actually have something that this plugs into? Okay? But doing this in a spirit of curiosity and compassion and patience and love, that's how I show up in coaching, and that's how I show up for myself, and ideally for everybody in my life. I practice doing that because that's how you get things done. If I'm saying, no, you have to do it this way, I say F that and I'm going to tune out. Okay? Abbott Elementary says, I need coaching, but I have an issue with not being able to get on Zoom. All right, Abbott Elementary, if you're on my mailing list, you have my email address. Send me an email and tell me, what the issue is. Perhaps we can resolve it. If you got a problem, I'll solve it. Check out the Groove Mode. My DJ revolves it. I have a friend who met Vanilla Ice over Thanksgiving. She posted it to TikTok. It was hysterical. And I crack up because I was never even a fan. But Ice Ice Baby and You Can't Touch This, boy, am I quoting those all the time in my coaching, right? Yeah, it's funny. But notice that all of us, not just your husband, not just your daughter, not just your mom, everybody has a thought about clutter that makes them feel a certain way about their clutter. And then that makes them do something about their clutter. Your mom has a thought that makes her feel a feeling that hangs on to her Kirby. Your husband has a thought that gives him a feeling of, I need to hang on to those cables. Your daughter has a thought that gives her a feeling that makes her hang on to her clothes. That's only the beginning, though. When you notice that model, when you say head, heart, hand on this side, just know that's only half the story. Who's it? Paul Harvey, page 2. On the other hand, you can flip that unhelpful thought that keeps you stuck to a more helpful thought. What's the opposite? Even just think the opposite. What's the flip side? What's the opposite? I have to hold on to this. Why do I have to hold on to this? Could I let it go? Notice those things. More helpful thought makes you feel better in your helpful thought in your head makes you feel better in your heart, and then you do something more helpful with your hands. Okay? Rosman says, my husband has our guest closet full of jackets, and our closet is full of his clothes and shoes. Okay? Notice that, and notice how many jackets he actually wears. Ask him, just to get curious about how many of these jackets do you actually wear. And again, not judgy. I will say, being a wife, being a daughter, being a sister, being a person in the world, oftentimes it takes practice to get yourself out of judgment and into love and compassion. But I'm telling you, when you make that effort, the results you get are so much better. Even just that it feels better for yourself, okay? So just ask your husband, does he need all those, like, what's up with all these jackets? What's your favorite jacket? Which ones do you not fit into anymore? Also notice Barefoot Eclectic 303 is saying the price of a Kirby would make me hang on to it even if it's broken. Notice the correlation, people, and I say this not just to Barefoot Eclectic, the correlation between the thought of that cost a lot of money that I'm even going to hang on to it when it doesn't work. Isn't that interesting? I am going to keep hanging on to a broken vacuum because initially when somebody bought it, it costs a lot of money. Do not underestimate the thoughts you have about spending money and how it's related to what you hang on to. Just planting that seed right now, that you have thoughts and feelings about money that result in your actions with your hands. You either hang on to stuff, or you spend, or you give away and you spend, or you spend more and you give away or hold on to it. Notice that. Okay? All right, somebody just said SMMT 2021, I'm watching for 30 seconds, I'm feeling attacked, but then you're laughing, and I will offer this. I don't attack. What you might be feeling is, you might be hearing some truths that feel like, ooh, oh, hey, ooh, that's a little bit too close to the bone, It's fine, but then I just noticed you followed me, so it's fine. Trust me, I don't attack. I am so with you on this journey. I am. I know what it's like to be in my own clutter. Now, I have pretty much worked on that so much that I'm looking around for more stuff because I'm like, oh my God, that felt so good. And it feels so good to release things that don't do it for you anymore. Your body does it every day. Come on, people. That's what the bathroom is for. If you think about it, your body knows what to keep and what to throw away. And it does it without judgment. It's not like, I might need that nutrient someday, so I'm going to keep this in my colon. No, your body trusts that it's going to get more nourishment, so it poops stuff out every day. Think about just applying that basic biological concept to your life. What's the shit in your life that you don't want anymore? And remove it. Now, usually the poop, the stuff you don't want, can be fairly easy to identify. The stuff that you are not so sure about, the stuff that's kind of in that yellow yield, should I stay, should I go, that you don't know if it's yellow or green. Technically, it's probably green or red, but you're afraid to say it's green or red because nervous system. That's where the coaching happens. And I've been through that so much with myself and with other people. I know how to walk you through that process. That's not an attack. It's a discovery, and it's gradual, and it's safe, and it's baby steps. Okay? Barefoot Eclectic says, I have a drawer of broken laptops because they have photos on them. Okay, Barefoot Eclectic. Again, thinking of, notice the thing, I'm hanging on to these broken laptops because they have photos on them. Notice that your life has moved on since those photos, without those photos being able to see them. You still want them though. What is an easy peasy, very low level, wicked simple first step you can take to do something about that? Is there a place? Could you Google Barefoot Eclectic when I'm done in 15 minutes, and everybody think of something you're stuck with, and what is a very smidgy widgy, eeny beeny, teeny weeny step you can take to move that stuff closer to where it makes sense to you. So like if you have a broken laptop, could you Google your area to discover, is there a place that could help fix this broken laptop? Or even just get the photos off of them. There we go. Oh, this is interesting. So I work in metaphor so much that I kind of have fun when people say, so how does this apply to us who have chronic constipation? How about this? I hope this doesn't stick, but coaching allows you to release what doesn't serve you. Coaching is like fiber, okay? It helps you organically move through and release what doesn't serve you. I don't want to say that it's a laxative because that would be kind of gross. Get regular with relax. Anybody? Anyhow, just notice that. Oh, there we go. Rosman, my husband also collects classic cars. He has my driveway full and both my kids' garages. Okay, your husband obviously has some thoughts and feelings that cause him to accumulate these things. I'm going to guess he didn't have those classic cars when he grew up, so now he's making up for lost time. I see a lot of guys like that. I used to write books about road tripping and stuff, and so I know a lot of people who didn't have things when they were growing up, that then they make money and then they buy the toys they didn't have when they were kids. It's not uncommon. What I want to just suggest is if it's making your life feel like too much versus just right, just think about that. All right? No, and here's the thing too. Ross, man, stop complaining. Complaining is such a good thing to recognize yourself doing, because you can stop yourself and say, hey, there's something here. I am complaining about something because something is out of alignment and I want to get it fixed. I want to fix it. I don't want it to be this way. So a complaint shouldn't just be the end of it, that you complain and that's it. No, the complaint is the beginning of changing it, is the awareness of this is something that's bugging me. Okay, so think about that. And then you think, what could I do about this? But I will offer this to everybody, including myself, with my husband in the other room with his studio, is before you start working on anybody else and their external clutter, start with your own. Your external clutter, your internal clutter, and get familiar with all of the things you need to think about. And just, you get comfortable with getting used to figuring out what the clutter is. What is this thing? Do I want it? If I want it, where does it go? If I don't want it, where does it go? Okay? Yes. Okay, see, Roz is saying, yeah, exactly. It's so true. Okay? But just please, it can seem safer to, and trust me, I know this because I'm a coach. I externally help people all day, but I would never show up here unless I had done the work on myself and found it to be so useful that I could just share this knowledge with you. I coach myself on a daily basis. I do. I spent, a whole bunch of days last week with family and friends and family and doing things and all that. And I coach myself about how do I want to feel? What do I want to get out of this? Do I need that thing that my mother's offering me? Can I release it? Do I want to buy that thing that's on Black Friday? Do I not need it? Start with yourself. And then anything you do externally is going to be so much more powerful because you will come from from a place of self-knowledge. Now, if you don't know how to do this, you can sign up and, watch my TikTok lives. As I said, I've got some going on this week. I'm going to do a video right after this and I'll post it. People on my mailing list already know when they are. People on my mailing list know if I'm going to pop up on a weekend or not. So if you're interested in what I'm doing and how I talk about stuff, I am here for you until I'm not. And when I'm not, it just means I'm traveling, and I do that a lot, but I always come back. And this time of year is different than any other time of year. So this can often be the time where the money spent on items, things comes up. Oh, I didn't spend enough on somebody. Well, I spent $50 on him. I have to spend $50 on her. I don't know what to get her. I'm going to spend all this money on crap nobody needs. Like all sorts of money and items, thoughts and feelings come up. But what I want to ask you, would you rather have a house filled with stuff, or would you ever have a house that has a feeling of just right and decluttered? Because I'm only saying it kiddingly because it's so true, is coaching makes a great gift for yourself. You can't gift it to anybody else because you have to feel ready. You have to be ready for coaching. But if you, for the holidays and for next year and for all the years after, want a home that looks and feels and functions better for you than it does now, consider telling Santa Claus you want coaching for Christmas. Okay? Alrighty. What do we go? Crap, I just totally lost my train of thought. Yes, it's 12:20. I got 10 minutes. I will do some TikTok lives later this week, And the following week, then I'm doing some traveling, and then it's going to be Christmassy. So baby steps at a time. But if you want to find out when I'm going to be on and when I do the free live and all that, just get on my mailing list. I'm not going to harp on it, but I know that as I do these TikTok lives, different people are hopping on and off. So I just want to give everybody the full benefit. DestinationDecluttered.com is kind of the resource for all of this. DestinationDecluttered.com/links. I believe there's a link. So when you go to maybe follow my TikTok page, you will see the links thing there. If you know somebody who's struggling with clutter and you think that they are looking for help and they're just not finding it, share my info with them. Destination Decluttered, Beth, Decluttering Life Coach. I'm on TikTok. I have Instagram, YouTube. YouTube too. If you like these, again, these TikTok lives are downloaded from TikTok and uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So you can have them playing in the background when you go walking around your house doing your surface clutter. Now I say surface clutter because you've got 3 levels of clutter. You've got surface, stored, and sentimental. When you're starting with, when you're doing some of, like, you can listen to somebody and still do surface clutter because a lot of it is habit and you know where things go. Once you have to have conversations with yourself and make decisions, have me playing on in your head, but you need to quiet down your externalness so you can say, what is this thing? Do I need it? If I need it, where does it go? If I don't need it, where does it go? And starting to pay attention to the things that light you up and what color it is. If you had the, if you've got the traffic signals in your heart. You want to have it be feeling green. Kermie said it's not easy being green, and that song always gives me a little bit of a wistful feeling. But what I want to offer is having that sense of, yay, yes, go, green, moving forward in the right direction, compelled like a magnet. I'm going to do the things. That's what we're going for. Not so it looks good in case, I'm always picturing Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg like being at my door. Right? They're not coming over. If they are, I totally want my husband to video that. But how does it feel to me in my home where I am the person who spends the most time there? I want to feel peaceful, quiet, relaxed, that I know where everything is, that I'm not bitching at my family because we can't find anything, that I'm not yelling at my husband to pick up his stuff, that I can find exactly what I need, it works well, and then I put it away, wicked simple. There we go. Chris A is saying decluttered my stuff, but my husband has a ton of car books and mags from past that he won't let go of. Chris A, maybe you and Ross should get together. Notice the boys in their cars. I talk about things in car things, so I would offer to your husband, if he likes cars, pretend he's dragging along all this stuff in a like he's attached a giant U-Haul filled with heavy stuff to the back bumper of his 57 Chevy. And how much easier and fun and more delightful it's going to be on a road trip on Route 66 when he doesn't have the U-Haul filled with stuff. Okay? Okay. Sydney is the dopamine chaser and asked, do you have suggestions how to declutter basement bins? Last area and overwhelmed thinking about it. Yeah, okay. First thing, Sydney and everybody, anytime you feel overwhelmed. And I was talking earlier about making a new mug for myself because I love drinking tea during my things and just in my life. Is I want you to think of the word down. When you think of overwhelm, over. No, I'm not going to think over. I'm going to think the opposite, which is down. What do I mean by that? Slow down, breathe down, calm down your physical nervous system and body. Do not be overwhelmed. I can deal with this. Take some deep breaths. In 3 times, out 6. In 4, out 8, whatever it is. Longer, push it all out, and then chunk it down. What do I mean by that? How many bins do you have? Only work on 1 bin at a time. Chunk it down. Chunk it down by time. Set a timer. Say I'm going to do it for 20 minutes. Chunk it down by, even before you do that, write it down. What do you want your basement to look and feel and function like? Write down that destination. Destination decluttered, people. Write down your destination. And then chunk it down and get there. Okay? So notice that. Alrighty. Okay. D is saying having a hard time getting motivated to declutter. Okay. I get it. Because if you don't want to do anything, why are you going to do it? Now, maybe that's the ADHD in my family talking. Maybe it's how everybody is. But if I don't see why I'm doing it, You're going to have to convince me that it's worth it. I can't convince you, but you can convince you. I would start with saying, what is my destination decluttered? How do you want your home to look and feel and function? Write that down and then say, that's how I want it to be. What can I do? What's a one little easy peasy, wicked easy, simply dimply thing I can do today to do it? If your destination is not evoking a sparkly nervous system kind of glittery effervescence, add some pizzazz to it. Add something that activates a feeling in you of, yes, I want to go to there. That's your destination. How does it feel when you're going to the beach? When you're driving towards someplace you're not there, but you want to get there? Get that feeling in there. Okay? Notice that. Okay? There you go. Candace has started with her pens. And then if it doesn't work, toss it. Move it to pencils, to markers, to crayons. Yes, keep only the best. I did that myself. Yep, donated that we didn't use. Quality versus quantity. A whole bunch of crappy pens does not replace one really good pen. Okay? Tom the Carpenter says, thanks you for your time. Hope you have an amazing day. Thank you. I have had an amazing day so far, and I will continue to do so. And you know why? Because I want to have an amazing day. Do you want to have an amazing day? I would like to think so. How about this? What can you do today to make your day feel, maybe amazing is kind of amazing. What could you do today to make your life feel a smidge better than it does right now? Even a smidge better is better. We don't go for perfect, no. We go for better, okay? So notice that. All right. I only got 3 minutes left, okay? And what I want to, Robin says, as always, Beth, you're amazing, the inspiration I needed. Here's the deal, people. The way I coach you right now is the way I want you to start talking to yourself in your body, in your brain. Okay? You've got your backseat drivers who are like, nope, we can't do it. I'm overwhelmed. I'm too tired. It's too much. It's all him. It's not me. You have backseat drivers that are steering you in the direction you don't want to go. But because they are so busy talking, you may not know this, but you have your own internal co-pilot that speaks to you like I speak to you, with love and possibility and motivation and encouragement, not judgment, but encouragement with love, compassion, curiosity. If you start to pay attention and notice when your backseat drivers are piping up and calm them down, quiet them down, shh, like little scared kids in the backseat, and then start talking to yourself like an awesome co-pilot, your life will change. I show up in this voice in your life to remind you that there is another side to this. It's not just the backseat drivers. It's you being in the driver's seat, quieting them down so that you can listen to your own internal co-pilot. Okay, yes, I'm the problem, it's me. No, but the neat thing is that you can do something about that. If it's external, sometimes you can't, but man, you can always say, what can I do about this? Okay? There we go. Abbott Elementary. Thanks for the inspiration. Got my shoes organized and a few pairs in a donation bag. Awesome. There we go. And what I want to offer is you got this. You can do it. You are worth taking the time in this one life that you have on the planet to pause, and instead of always racing forward and saying, I'll figure it out later, stopping and turning around and realizing what's got you, that you're just steering in the wrong direction. When you're not steering towards the life you want, you're steering away from it. And so who's convincing you to turn the wheel away from what you want? Okay, DogMom444 says, my nightstand has been cleared while listening to you. Awesome. Okay. All right, y'all. I will be doing more TikTok lives this week. This one will be downloaded from TikTok and uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. So if you just got this and you're like, oh, what's this all about? Actually, you could head over to Destination Decluttered on YouTube right now because there's a ton of TikTok lives that you can just play in the background. Pretend it's a podcast. You don't even need to look at the screen. It is a podcast that gets you encouragement and motivation and quieting down the backseat drivers and allowing your internal co-pilot to speak up. And when she says to you, where do you want to go? You can discover what your destination is. And it's like, cool, how can we get there today? I can help you with that. Okay? Notice that, and notice that you're worth doing this. Also, if you're interested, one last info thing, destinationdecluttered.com is where you sign up on my mailing list. It's all free. I don't spam you. That would be completely retarded. Excuse me. That would be so dumb. Oh my God, I do have to work on my language here. Notice that. It would be silly. How's that for me to clutter up your email box? So I only send the good stuff. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. And I will say that if you want to be my one-on-one coaching person, you can get up onto the calendar, sign up for a consultation. I have consultations this week and next week. Grab one of those. We'll talk about next steps, get you onto the calendar so that you start the beginning of 2024 off on the right foot. Okay? There we go. Candace G, body doubling sessions. Glad to help. Okay? I will see you all the next time. And you got this. You can do it. Okay? Time to drive in the direction of your dreams.